Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Joey from the Disney Universe TV. We are here with our first live video, officially live, starting our series of um, Friday night live hot topics on a Saturday afternoon because that's how we roll here. And I'm very excited to have two special guests, two of the organizers for the GinaCarano.net website coming out in 5 days. Before we get to them real quick, I just want to remind you that this is a new channel. Oh, no, it's not a new channel, but we're going to have a series of shows, myself and Ryan. And we want to make sure you guys get all the content right when it comes out. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, like our videos, and share if you like what we're doing. But without further ado, I'd like to welcome Emily and Ash, who are both organizers of GinaCarano.net. So here they are today. So, hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, thank you for having us on.
Oh yeah,
nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Ash. We were talking long time ago when on my other podcast to get you on when you started on the We Love Cara Dune hashtag, and all hell broke loose kind of, and a lot, and
it was crazy.
Emily knows this kind of story, but we were not able to talk about it much on our Mando Show podcast, but we've gone on and do a few bonus episodes with Udi, a good friend from Mando Show and Leaving Today podcast, and but we so I'm glad we finally get to talk with you. And Emily joined us on our part 2 of the Gina Carano conversation bonus episodes, which have been getting really good feedback from everybody. So I kind of ran out of breath there. But so once again, thank you guys for joining us. And you're Ash, you're coming from us from the UK, and Emily from the Midwest. Yeah. So we're all spread across right now and loving the content we're going to talk about today. So we are 5 days away from the website, and before we get to that, I just want to ask you guys, what got you started or to become a big fan of Gina Carano? I'll start with you, Emily. How's it?
Yeah, so I've known who she is, and I've always been a fan. But it didn't really interact that much on Twitter until some of the other stuff, which she started. Basically, let's just be quite honest. She just started getting attacked on Twitter for things that she's not. People were calling her racist. And I've said this on your podcast before, but I just felt like it was kind of my responsibility, really, as someone that is a minority, to stand up and tell people, no, she's not. And I've said this before again, that anytime you accuse somebody of something, that the burden of evidence is on the accuser. So when people started calling her that, and it wasn't like a lot of people, it was just some trolls, just started calling her racist when she wasn't, and she's never displayed any signs or anything like that. So that's when I really became active, I guess you could say, like actively commenting on her Twitter and actively commenting on her social media. But I remember when she fought, I still am, was a big fan of Shayna Baszler. Was one of my favorites. And now, of course, she's in WWE. But because I was familiar with her, I was also familiar when Gina came out on the scene. I never was privileged enough to get the chance to see her actually fight at a live show or anything like that. But you can go back. Her fights were incredible.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I watched her when she was in Haywire and a few of her other movies. But my favorite, I think, role that she's had so far is Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. Oh my gosh. She wore that character well. And I absolutely love that character.
And a role that, we've come to find out, from the gallery and all that, is a role that was pretty much made for her by Jon Favreau. I mean, even Pedro Pascal said when he saw the picture of her, he's like, oh, that's Gina Carano, before he even knew the character's name. So, yeah, same here. What about you, Ash?
Well, where do I start? So before 2019, I'd never even heard of Gina Carano. I literally had no idea who she was, never heard of her. And I remember they did a preview event of The Mandalorian, and I saw a clip of Gina talking about Cara Dune. And I remember just being so inquisitive, like, oh my goodness, like I've waited so long for a Star Wars character, which is a strong female. And along came Gina, I mean, as Cara Dune. And prior to that, I'd never heard of her. And it kind of sparked my interest in the character. And at the same time as falling in love with Cara Dune, I kind of learned more about Gina and more about her work and her past projects. And I've only recently finished watching all of her movies, so I am a little bit of a flop fan. Some of her fans actually call me a flop, but I am a big fan of her. But yeah, Cara Dune was just such an embodiment of strength and encouragement, and I think the world needed that at that time. And even though Cara Dune isn't currently with us within the Star Wars universe, I think that her presence and what she gave to the franchise will last forever. And I think that that's something that people can never take away. And yeah, I think Cara Dune was like Emily, a big part of the reason why I was drawn into being a fan of Gina.
Very cool. And I'm always in that category of like when people are like, you're not a fan because you haven't been a fan this long, or I'm like, you know what? When you're a fan, you're a fan. It doesn't matter if, like, Emily knows this, but I became a fan of hers when the reintroduction of American Gladiators came out. Then her pioneering days in MMA, of course, in the movies. So it's like, I've been a fan all these times, but since 2009, that doesn't mean nothing. If you enjoy what you enjoy, it doesn't matter how long it is, as long as you enjoy it. So,
Sure.
I don't like that flop fan thing. Just
Yeah.
Well,
no,
at some point.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say, at some point you're going to become a fan of someone.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
to say that, it's like, well, that doesn't really make sense, because at some point you joined the bandwagon. So
Exactly.
I wouldn't pay too much attention to that.
Exactly.
I think as well, I think with being a fan, a lot of it comes from inner feelings and what you feel within yourself. You don't have to have all the merchandise. You don't have to have Gina follow you on social media. Like, I think as a true fan, it's just about what you get from relating and emotions that you feel from the character that she's portraying.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. And and that, like, because she got a lot of a lot of heat, but it's like the people have outnumbered the support, because you hear people throwing the support and they're saying why they support and why they love her so much, but the ones that are the haters, you're not getting any reasons. You're just, because of the beep bop boop thing. They don't even understand exactly what that is. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, Joey, when you think about the hate that Gina endured. That's the tragic thing, that especially with the media, they never talked about the abuse and the harassment that she went through. Me and Emily used to sit and read through some of the tweets that she was getting on, even before The Mandalorian launched in 2019. She was getting abused and harassed daily. And, there's only so much a human being can take of that. Like, her strength is just so, I think, overwhelming, that she's managed to come through all of this. And now she's got other coming projects and everything, but it's a lot for somebody to go through.
Oh, absolutely. And especially being in the spotlight like that too.
Yeah. And the thing is, because I know this will come up, is people will argue, well, she's a public figure, so she has opened herself up, and to a degree, I understand that, and I get that. When you're a public figure, you open yourself up to scrutiny and criticism that a private person should not have. With that being said, scrutiny and criticism does not mean attacks, like basically baseless attacks. And that's exactly what she had. Before, I don't like to, I want to say blow things out of proportion, or, just maybe make things bigger than they are. But I think we need to call what happened to Gina what it is. Call it for what it is. It was bullying, and it was baseless attacks. And I know Ash and myself and everyone else in our group, which I'll tell you their names later, but all of us, I think that's really kind of what has meshed us together so well, is we all have this passion for defending other people. And that's something that Gina has mentioned before in her video with Ben Shapiro, is we don't like bullies. And the only way that cancel culture is going to stop is when we've had enough of it and we decide to stand up for other people, that whether we agree with them or not, that's the thing, whether we agree with them or not, we need to stop cancel culture, because it's just going to keep going and going and going. And you actually see that it's happening.
So I think there's so much strength then in voicing your opinion. And that's what we were seeing, Jerry, that was happening. I mean, Gina mentioned it in her interview, but we were seeing it as fans as well. You know, people were voicing their opinions on social media and they were getting shut down by the mob. Like, who are you? Shut up. And that's not the way the world works. I mean, that's not reality. That's not real life. I mean, at some point you have to kind of think within yourself, like, okay, I have an opinion. I'm going to voice my opinion. And if people don't like it, then they don't like it.
Yeah, it's okay to disagree, but when you get called, when you get all the isms thrown at you just for one opinion, and it's just stupid. But but on to happier news, before we get onto the site, I just wanted to bring you on, Ash, that you started the hashtag We Love Cara Dune that was trending amazingly. Like, what? So I just want to, before we get to the website, can you tell us like how that got started or what was going on with that?
Oh my gosh, like that is so, to be honest, it kind of like boggles my mind with the hashtag We Love Cara Dune. Like I said to the girls, and I've actually mentioned it to Gina, like literally it was an idea I had driving home from work in the car. I was driving her home, listening to Britney Spears in my car, driving along, and all of a sudden this idea came into my head because I was reading her Twitter that day and she was getting so much hate, and I thought, what can we do to turn that around? And that's kind of where the concept of We Love Cara Dune came from. And who would think that it trended around the world? I think it trended in more than 12 countries. It trended worldwide, and it was crazy. And it ended up in Forbes magazine and BBC News. It was all over the place. Because all the support on that was incredible. Like from the group and from fans outside of the group. I mean, it blew up and it became huge.
Yeah, because we were posting nonstop on our Mando show, and that's when I started having contact with yourself and Emily, and doing all the posts. And so I just, since we never got to talk about it when it first, I just wanted to bring it up this short time. So but now we're onto the website, which is really exciting. So do you guys want to let us know like where that kind of started from itself from?
Do you want to?
I was looking at you.
Oh.
So no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. So it really kind of started with, back when Ash had mentioned it, we were all following her and commenting on her stuff. And we actually formed a watch party group. And we watched The Mandalorian together. It was Fridays. We had so much fun. And we all formed friendships, and we just started, Zooming with each other a lot. And, but when we started seeing other fans get attacked because of their support for Gina, because they either stood up for her or even just followed her or bought her stuff, bought a shirt or something like that. I mean, just absolutely crazy, the type of attacks that her fans started getting. And when we saw that, we thought, we really need to create a community where fans, obviously we're focused on Gina, but really fans can just gather together and speak without censure and just have a place where they can have fun and they can connect with other fans like we did. So that's really at the heart of it. That's where it started. We wanted to support Gina, and we didn't want Hollywood or the news media to just be able to shut her down. We still wanted a place where fans could learn more about what she's doing and hear news and different things like that. So support Gina, and then also provide a place where fans can really kind of gather. So it has a twofold purpose for us.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, with I mean, can you talk about like how the community has already grown since you guys just announced? Because the site, like we mentioned, launches in 5 days, and you guys have had this going on for what, the last 2 months, kind of building up. So can you tell us about the anticipation level of everything?
So the website has, I mean, since we even announced that we were doing this, the support has just been insane. You know, so many people have been behind us, and their words honestly inspire us every single day. And we want this website to be the very best, not just for fans, but for anybody out there which may feel alone or may not feel represented. So no, the reception of the project and the way it's grown has been huge. I mean, we started when we first put set up the Twitter pages and the social media, it was kind of like a few followers every day, and then now it's turning into like 1,000 followers every 2 or 3 days, and so the momentum's there and the engagement's there, and it just feels kind of nervous now, because for us, you know, it's only 5 days until the world sees this, and it's like, oh my gosh, we've still got so much work to do. But I think that when people actually see the website, they're going to be like, oh wow, this is what fans are capable of doing. And I think it's just going to speak for itself. It really is. I always say it's like a labor of love, this project, because so much passion has gone into it. And I know, you know, everybody that's involved in this has spent so much time and energy into it. And when people see it, they're going to freak out. They're going to be, oh my God. And if they're not a fan of Gina, they're going to want to be a fan of Gina. Definitely.
At least we hope so.
Hope so.
Because yeah, Ash and I have actually we talked a little bit before the stream, and whenever you put a product out there, there's always that factor of like, you feel a little nervous because what if the reception isn't what we hope it to be? I think I'm pretty confident that fans will love it, because we have, unlike Disney, we have listened to the fans. As fellow fans, we have listened to them, and we took their feedback and their input, and we have basically built this site around suggestions that they have made. And we've looked at it from the perspective of, as a Gina Carano fan, is this something that I would like? And Ash has a background in basically like virtual communities, and I have a background in customer service. So and we have so many team members that have so many different talents, and that's exactly what we've done. We have put our talents together, and we've made something that we're just really excited. Like, we cannot wait for you guys to see this. Yeah.
Nice. And I know you talked a little bit about what you guys had planned on our last bonus episode, but can you give us a little tease of some of the things some fans can expect from the website?
We've actually, Em's going to say something. Em's going to announce something right now, and I'm going to show you the product.
Ooh,
so,
exclusive.
Why don't we tell
Thank you,
them?
guys.
You are getting an exclusive.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we've been talking all week about releasing our schedule of events, basically what's going to be going on for the rest of the week. And Thursday, we've talked about a scavenger hunt a little bit, but we've actually put together a virtual scavenger hunt. And we're not going to give out the clues today. It's going to be released on Thursday. And the reason why we're doing it on Thursday, there's quite a few things that has to be done on the scavenger hunt. So the basics of it is, you're going to have this list of things that you have to do. You take pictures, you post it on Instagram, Twitter. There's going to be a certain hashtag that you're going to use. And we're going to have a program that's going to pull all of those pictures and posts from that hashtag. And basically, fans are going to be able to look at the pictures. It's going to make you feel immersed and like you're a part of like this. You're going to see all these people from all over the world. It's not just here in the US, it's all over the world. Ash is joining us from England. But they're going to be able to see all these different people in different countries do the exact same things that they're doing. And once you complete it by a certain time frame, we'll have all of that released on Thursday. Then you will have a chance to be entered into a drawing for Ash.
We're going to be giving away a signed Funko Pop. This one currently isn't signed, but it's going to be signed by Gina herself.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That is
Do you
awesome.
want to? What's the Funko Pop number?
It's 356. So this is the special edition Funko Pop, and it's going to be signed by Gina. So this is what everybody can expect. So they're going to need to be online on Thursday to take part in the digital scavenger hunt, and this is the grand prize for the winner.
Yes.
Very
So
cool.
I think we looked that up because we were wondering, like, if a fan wanted to buy, because a lot of the stuff that Ash actually worked really hard on getting a lot of the merch, but that one, I think, how much was it that people were wanting for it?
I think that one's at about $120 unsigned. So whoever gets this one unsigned, you're sitting on a bit of money.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we have, I mean, we could have kept a lot of this stuff. And Kara was actually the one that she's a part of our group. She was actually the one that found that for us. I mean, when we heard that she was fired, we knew that it was shortly after they would be announcing cancellation of her stuff. We just we knew. In our guts, we knew. But so we really just worked hard on finding that merch, and Ash did a lot of it. Kara found that one for us. We could have kept this stuff for ourselves. I mean, yeah. I have a piece myself, but all this other stuff that we have, we could have kept it. We could have sold it, but we are so passionate about making sure that other fans, I mean, Ash and I went over post upon post by fans that talked about how they wanted to find this figure for their daughter, or, you know, they were such huge fans and now they're not going to have a chance to do this. So that really it spurred us to try to find as much as possible. And then also to create some original art, original merchandise, whatever we could do to try to help fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely one thing. I mean, with the website launching, there was something I was hoping that we could get our hands on, which I haven't been able to get, and then the group, but we wanted to try and get a Black Series Cara Dune. But of course, they're extremely expensive now. They're very, very rare to find in retail. But what we've got some really amazing things in terms of giveaways. We haven't actually shown all of our giveaway items, but we have got some very amazingly cool things, which just like I just want to keep them here. Like, I want them all.
yeah, I know that Black Series was hard to find even before, I mean, when the show first came out, because I'm a Black Series collector, and I mean that's my favorite out of the Star Wars merchandise. And so I actually saw one I call it out in the wild, because I feel weird about pre-ordering stuff, but now that's the only way to get them. It's sad, but I saw one in the wild 2 days before before payday, and I had it in my hand at Target, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll come back here. I put it in the back. Went back 2 days later, and it was gone. I was just
no.
That's crazy.
Oh, you're going to torture me.
Yeah,
but I do got
that from.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
thanks,
I do got the 3-inch one that got pops, and so I'm okay, I guess.
This was another that they the car, like, it was out. How long was it out, Ash? Like,
I mean,
minutes.
Right now,
it was gone.
Minutes.
Yeah.
We managed to. How many did we get? 3. We got 3.
Yeah, we got 3. We'll see if those are actually a part of our personal collection. So we'll see if any of that makes.
I'm like looking around. No, I'm looking around right now because I literally bought I forget what they're like little kid looking figures. I forget what they're called.
That's a part of the mini.
Yeah, and so I have Mando, and it came with Grogu and the little thing, but I found they had a stack of them of the Mandalorian series, and so it has Mando, has Cara Dune, a Stormtrooper, and IG-11, But I'm
Mhm.
like, well, that's the only thing that had her, and so I bought 2 of them. So if you guys need another giveaway, I can throw,
Oh,
so
yeah, like,
Thank you.
so
yeah, thank you. We're just going to say yes.
exactly right. Or you can keep it.
Yes, yes, yes.
But so with a new site also comes some goals. So do you guys have I'm sure you've probably set some goals for the site and the community, and would you like to share any of that?
Well,
Ye-
what I can say is that me and Emily and the rest of the people involved in this project, we want it to last for a long time. It's not going to be one of those fan projects which, are active for 6 months and then kind of fizzles out. I mean, we've got plans for this for probably 5 years or so ourselves, and then we want it to continue. Maybe if we're not involved, but the ownership to continue as long as Gina is acting, singing, dancing, whatever she's going to be doing, whatever. As long as her career is going, the site is going to be going. And well, have you got anything on that one?
Yeah, I mean, we have numbers, which of course we're not going to be publishing out there, but there's certain numbers that I do have a business background. I actually sent the YouTube to one of my dear friends, Kim, and she was also my business professor. So
Oh, nice.
I do have a business background, and one thing that you learn in any business is you measure things by numbers. You have to have things that are attainable, and you do that with numbers. So for us, I mean, I do have numbers on where I want us to be as far as like members, for a newsletter, for everything, because there's costs that are associated with the site. So we want to make sure that we keep track of things, so that way we can make sure that what the decisions that we're making is best for the community and for the fans. But as Ash said, we have set this up in a way that is going to outlive us, because when we first started this, there are Gina Carano fan sites out there, but they haven't been updated in years, and it's just there. So we wanted this to outlast us. So we created a business. It's a not-for-profit, just because we're not in this to make money off of Gina. I know that's come up. Fans, they're very defensive of her, rightly so, because of the attacks that she's had. But we're not in this to make money off of her. Anything that we make in excess of marketing, site costs, anything like that, is going to go to a charity of the month. We're going to reinvest a lot of it back into the site and for like initial startup costs and things like that. But we're not in this to make money. We're in this so the fans of Gina Carano have a place where they can gather and converse without censure, and also to support Gina in whatever venture she goes to next.
Very cool. And you, Ash, you're wearing a shirt, so are we going to be able to see some website merchandise possibly?
Yes, we are going to have a web store, and there's original created stuff going in there. So things which fans have made, which we've got permission to use, which are going to be made into merchandise items. The store is looking pretty exciting at the moment, the range of items we're going to have in there, because obviously when you think of Gina, there's the MMA side, there's the Cara Dune aspect of her working, and then there's just Gina. So we want to bring all of those elements into the merchandise, so when people come into the store, they feel like, wow, okay, well, I like Cara Dune, and I also like Gina from the MMA days, so I'm going to buy different merchandise which kind of correlate with the parts of her personality that they like. So it's definitely going to be very broad, the store, and that will be available shortly after launch, and we can't wait for you to see that.
Very cool, very excited. So I just want to thank Brian for the awesome comment he just left on YouTube. So thank you,
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
So everything, I'm super excited that you guys are doing. And I know we were joking about this after we were recording the conversation episode, but future, KaranoCon. I mentioned it. Udi was all about it.
That's actually something that we have discussed before. Again, it just depends on world events, how well this goes off. But we've actually discussed now. I'm not like committing her or saying she's going to be there. That's, she has an agent, has her own schedule. But
Oh yeah.
amongst the fans, we've actually talked about having like meetups and maybe start. I know we're going to be at conventions. We're going to make our presence known because, we're all a little rebellious. And if they say we can't be there, we're like, well, we paid for a table. So
We're going to be there anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
And they want the money.
Yeah, we're going to show up at conventions. But we have discussed and have already started looking at meetups or small conventions maybe at first, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I mean, you won't know until you do it or try it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, though, which is exciting about this project. Like, the only way that we're going to know how things are going to be received is if we try them. So eventually it might be that we do like a little meetup or a convention. And if people have fun and they want to do it again, then next time it will be bigger. But we're definitely ambitious with what we want to achieve with this. Like, I don't think the world is fully prepared for what's in our mind and what's coming. I think it's going to, I said this to Emily the other day, actually, Jerry. I think that every actor, singer, whoever in Hollywood is going to look at this and think, oh my gosh, I wish my fans did this for me. Like, I think it's going to have that level of like, wow, this is crazy.
And they're starting to speak up even more than before. I mean, if you kind of notice what's going on now. So.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Gina so special, is that she has this quality about her that that fans, like, she involuntarily just fans, they end up with this strength and this courage to stand up and speak up for themselves. I mean, she does it for herself.
Yeah.
But she encourages people to have courage and to have hope. I know Ash talked about that with Cara Dune, and I think Gina herself embodies this sense of hope that even in the bleakest of circumstances. I mean, look at the lady. They not only fired her, but they have done everything possible to cancel her from everything. They pulled her figures. They, have just done whatever they could to blacklist her, basically. And yet she still is standing. And she's out there saying they can't cancel us if we don't let them. And that's absolutely what we as fans are going to do as well. If we continue to support her, if we continue to buy her merchandise, to subscribe to the Daily Wire and watch her movies or shows or whatever they decide to do, then they can't cancel her. I mean, the power lies within the fans. And that's where we come in, is we're here to keep spreading the word, to keep the conversation going. I know, like, a YouTuber, Nerdrotic, he was absolutely right when he said we need to keep the conversation going. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, and
especially with Cara. Yeah. Oh, God, sorry.
No.
With Cara Dune, especially, people think within the Star Wars universe, that she's now irrelevant, and Lucasfilm have actively tried to remove her. I think that, if you celebrate something which you love, and Cara Dune was probably the fan favorite within The Mandalorian, beside The Mandalorian himself, if people keep talking, if people keep posting, then the legacy of Cara Dune is only going to become bigger and bigger. And I think at some point, Lucasfilm and Disney are going to think, wow, why did we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I really admire, like, what you guys are doing with the website, and even before the website, just your posts and tweets. YouTubers like Drunk 3PO and that Star Wars girl that are, I mean, I'm wearing a Drunk 3PO shirt right now because, I mean, he literally got his store canceled, just because no reason. So I'm like, I got to wear this again because, I mean, and because I don't know, one of the tweets that really stuck out to me is I will punch anybody I see wearing that shirt. And I'm like, well, I've worn this a lot. I haven't been punched yet. So I'm in Sacramento. I'm going to be at In-N-Out Burger on this street. Find me if you want.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing with the Twitter mob is a lot of times they're just keyboard warriors. They're not. It's really easy for them to just get on there and spew just absolutely vile things about a person that they can't back up with evidence.
yeah,
But on the flip side, there's fans like Ash and myself and Kara and everyone else in our group that are actually out here putting boots to the ground and making stuff happen. We're creating a site for other fans and creating original merchandise. I mean, there's artists out there. There's been so many people that have reached out to us. There was a guy that sent us a message and just volunteered to help with like SEO. And then my friend that did the original art for a sticker that we're going to be, you guys will be seeing pretty soon.
nice.
We'll be releasing it this week. Just people like that have just out of the goodness of their hearts and because they know this is the right thing is to stand up for other people. Those people are banding together. So there's quite a bit of difference between the fans that have stuck by her and then the ones that have been just out there bullying her. They're just all talk, and we're actually out here putting work in.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what comes with a great website that you guys are building also comes a big team. So I know you guys have a pretty big team working on this site. If you'd like to do a couple of shout outs here.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually like said their names as much, just because there are quite a few of them. But I wrote down their names, not that I don't remember, but just because I want to make sure that we recognize every single one of them. But the ones that make up our team are, and again, these are people that we became friends before we even decided to do this site. Yeah. So that they've really we've really just bonded and we stuck by each other. But that's Alasia, Kara, you've heard me mention her, Memory, who I say can probably outdrink anybody.
Udi, she's coming for you.
Yeah, she was the one that I called out on the podcast, and I said that she could probably handle her liquor better than Udi. So sorry, Mem. Allie, Madison, Tugs is actually a part of Geeks and Gamers. But we recruited her for her expertise as well. Yeah. Nice. So she didn't leave their team. We asked them kindly if we could borrow her for some of her expertise as well. So Madison, Madison, I might have already mentioned her, Chantel, Marie, Daniel, and then of course Shannon. So that's a lot of people, but we couldn't have done it without their help. And I know sometimes they're like, we could do more. But I think just having their support, and sometimes I'll just text them randomly and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Can you help me? And I know I do it to Mem a lot, and Mem sometimes is like, that's terrible. Back to the drawing board. So it takes all of us, and that's what it's going to take moving forward for this to outlast me and Ash. Like we said before, it's going to have to take all of us, and hopefully we grow this so large that we need even more help, and then more fans will have to come on board. Right now we have our core team, but our hope is that this just continues to grow and grow and grow as communities should.
Very cool. Yeah, and absolutely.
I think that, with any community, you're going to have ups and downs. You have lulls, you have months where things are quiet. But I think, especially with GinoCorona.net, it's going to be very, very loud and very, very vocal all year round. And there's going to be constantly things going on. I mean, the amount of content that's going into the website and the plans that we have, I mean, it's not even just web features and web pages. I mean, we're thinking outside the box as well. Things that perhaps parents could do with their children, which that may have seen a character of Gina on a movie or something. We're trying to approach this from so many different angles. So yeah, the community is just going to be onwards and upwards. I think it's just going to be like an explosion of love across the world. Honestly, yeah, it's
Absolutely.
going to be big.
And I'm super excited. I signed up right away. So I can't believe, I mean, it's like you said, we've said it all show 5 days away. So I know you guys are anxiety, excited, scared, all of the above, but it'll definitely be a great site. And, I mean, you can see the numbers. So
yeah, we have, I know at one time we were having so much traffic, we had to contact our web developers, Viva, and have them actually expand that a bit because we were having quite a bit of traffic on just the launch page. So, but on the site, we actually, some of the features that we have planned is we have a blog, a forum, which is where a lot of the communication for fans, it's going to be like a canteen. They can get together, they can talk about politics, religion, whatever they want. The only thing is that we ask is that they be respectful. And of course, I know this has come up before on some of like the Gina Carano Facebook groups that I'm a part of. People have said, make sure you keep the haters out. If you aren't a fan of Gina, this is a fan site. So we're going to be monitoring that. Yeah, just go find a site that is for you. So, but we just ask people to be respectful, and it doesn't matter if you don't agree, but just be respectful with each other. But we'll also, we're going to have Artist of the Month, Community Member of the Month, Spotlights, Cosplayer of the Month. It doesn't have to just be Cara Dune. It can be any of her characters. A newsletter. We're going to have news, exclusives, virtual events like watch parties, trending hours, maybe more scavenger hunts in the future. I know we've talked about meetups, and of course we have the Ginapedia, which, do you want to talk to them a little bit more about that, Ash?
So the Ginapedia is, I mean, to be honest, I even learned something from the Ginapedia, which is kind of scary. Just shows how much of a bad fan I am. So the Ginapedia is pretty much a database that we've got within the site, which showcases all of Gina's past projects, TV appearances, movies, information about The Mandalorian. And it's somewhere which, say for example, you've never heard of Gina Carano. You can go in and you can learn about all of her past projects, and it will link you to clips from some of her old movies, some of her TV appearances, such as The Gladiator. It's somewhere which is just a knowledge base for all things Gina Carano. So for somebody which isn't that experienced as a fan, they can actually go through and they have like a little checklist. So then maybe one day they want to watch In the Blood or The Mandalorian, and they can work through all of our projects and they'll learn more about Gina at the same time. So we've we definitely put a lot of thought into this. So it's definitely going to be an experience, I think, that people won't forget. They'll be logging in, making their user account. That's the first thing you do actually when you guys register on launch day. You'll create your own user account and you'll use those credentials to log in every single time to the website to access certain features like the forum. But the Ginapedia is pretty much the knowledge base of all things Gina. So you can expect to go in there, and we will update it from time to time, a bit more information in. So for example, when she does her project with the Daily Wire, as soon as we have any information on that, which is reliable information, we want to make sure the information that goes on our site is accurate and reliable from a source. So that will then go into the Ginapedia, so people can then explore that information and learn more about that project. So yeah, the Ginapedia is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I think one thing too that we always try to mention between Ash and myself and everyone else in our group is we're not here. I had a boss once that said, don't recreate the wheel, and we're not here to recreate the wheel. There are other fan groups on Facebook, there's fan pages on Instagram, on Twitter, and again, there's been some fan sites. We're really here to unite all of her fans, because that was one thing when we decided to do this, is we looked and we saw she has fans on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. How can we unite all of them? And that's why we decided to go with a site. So we're going to feature YouTubers, even though we plan on one day having a YouTube channel, we can have some content on there, but we're going to feature YouTubers on our site and their videos, because we want fans to see her interviews, to see people that are defending her, that are out there talking about her, and, you know, without bias. So we're going to have that stuff on our site. So we're not here to take over and be the official, you know, fan site. Although that's a great title. We're not here to do that. We're here to unite fans. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we're bringing all the tools that we have and all of the creativity and the experience that we all have collectively. We're putting it all together into this website and then saying, there you go, go play. I mean, it really is that simple. I mean, we, with the community, me and Emily have done guidelines, and the rules actually for the community, they're fair. Of course, we're not going to endorse hate. Voicing your opinion is so important, but we want there to be a level where you're not going into racism, you're not being sexist, you're not being homophobic. So we're keeping it as a level which is appropriate, but people will be able to come in there and have their own opinion on subjects, which could be anything. And I mean, I think there's a real power in that, by having people come in, all walks of life, regardless where you're from, who you are, and just being able to voice your opinion with like-minded people without being shouted at or without being told to shut up. Well, it could happen from time to time, but I think not.
And I love what I've noticed from just the Gina fan community, just how big and diverse it is. And you know, that says something for somebody who's an ism, you know, that you got fans from all walks of life that are like, no, this is who she is. So, and that's why I love what you guys are doing. And once again, I'm super excited for the site.
I've met some like other fans online that are trans, that are gay and as straight as can be, Christian, you know, atheists. That you have so many people, and I think that it really speaks to the character that Gina has. Whether she or I or any of us agree on everything, it's that we can have respect for each other as human beings, and that there's a level of love just because we're fellow humans. So and we actually, when we were setting this up as a team, we created a team culture, that certain values that we want to have and for our site and for our fans, and we're going to have that on there. We're going to say this is our culture and our expectations, and a lot of that revolves around respect for each other, and for each other's beliefs, and also just really we believe in the power of human connection, which is why we started this.
And I think like all the attributes which have gone into Gina's characters, strength, determination, the feeling of, especially with Cara Dune, and I think why Cara Dune was so popular with Star Wars. Someone asked me this the other day, why do I think that Cara Dune was such a big character in Star Wars? And I thought about it for a long time, and I think it was because she represented so many people in society which don't know where they fit. They don't know necessarily who they are as a human being. And that all of those qualities Jon Favreau bit into Cara Dune. And I think that's probably helped Gina grow her fan base even more. So all of those attributes from all of these characters, Mallory Kane from Haywire, from Cara Dune, all of these attributes kind of all come together from her characters and from Gina herself, and that's kind of what's forged GinaCarano.net. There's going to be elements of the website which you think, oh my gosh, this is kind of a little bit Cara Dune inspired. This is a little bit Mallory Kane inspired from Haywire. All of these characters and these vibes kind of build the website, and like I just can't wait. Like 5 days. It's nervous, but like I just can't wait to hear what people think. Like I'm gonna, on launch day, I think both of us are gonna be on Twitter, just be like, oh my god, what are people saying?
I can't wait. Emily, we talked when we were doing the podcast, and like me, Udi, and his co-host Mark from Leaving Today are planning on doing a little live stream and each hitting our socials once the launch is hit. So we're all excited. So but
well, you guys are going to be there at the launch party, so
I forgot. No, I didn't.
So the launch party is going to be on Thursday on launch day. It'll be Thursday evening because I have a job, day job, and so does Ash. because, we're not making money off of this. We've got to pay bills.
No.
But so it'll be Thursday evening, and we're going to have like YouTubers there, which we consider like members of the media. But then we also will have a select number of fans. Obviously, we would love to open it up where all the fans could come in. Obviously, they can live tweet with us, but because of Zoom's capabilities, limited capabilities, and just for us, it's going to be a limited number of fans. So I'll be sending invites out this weekend to the fans and also to the members of media, which I've already discussed with some of them. So we're really excited. I can't wait for you guys to get your invites. And we're so excited.
We're so excited. There's no words to describe it, honestly. Like, the feelings that we have right now are just so electric. There's nervous, apprehension, excitement, and, to be honest, a little bit of dread. Like, I'm just like, I just can't wait for Thursday to come already.
I can imagine. Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming on, telling us about it on our first, like I said, our first actual like hot topic episode on YouTube. I cannot wait. I will be there on Thursday and on launch day also. One thing we do before I let you go on my regular Disney podcast that this is based on is we do some rapid fire questions, but I kind of altered the questions because it'll be like Disneyland themed, Disney World movies, whatever. But we're going to do just a few quick Gina Carano rapid fire. So you both get the same question because I only wrote down 4 or 5, and I wrote down 4. So I'm going to start with you, Emily. Your favorite Gina Carano screen moment? And there's no wrong answers.
Okay, my favorite moment was her and the ferret because I love animals, or her on The Mandalorian whenever the ferret, she was like, what are you, like, creepy little creature?
Go away.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome. What about you, Ash?
Mine would have to be from Haywire. This is actually kind of strange because I love her from Mandalorian and from I love Cara Dune. I probably love Cara Dune the most in the world. Like, I love that character. But my favorite would have to be from Haywire when she threw the pan at the guy's head and it knocks him out. Like, I've wanted to do that to so many people in life.
Right?
I don't know about you guys, but I just want to throw it and knock somebody out. And I love that scene.
that'll be the next question. And who would you chuck a frying pan at? All right, back to you, Emma. Favorite Cara Dune fight?
The one. Okay, so it's from the same episode. The one where she's in, like, she comes back to where the Mandalorians had been in the tunnels. And she's fighting those. I forget what they're called, but the choreography of the fight in that is, and the physicality of it is awesome. Like, she was rolling around, she was flipping people, she was like punching, she was throwing elbows backwards. It was just, oh my gosh, as an MMA fan, that was so incredible. I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I love the part where she grabbed the one, put her over her shoulders, and like was using him as a shield, then tossed her.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that.
That was awesome. What about you, Ash? Favorite Cara Dune fight?
Mine would be her opening episode on Mandalorian, season 1, episode 4, where she's taking on the rogue ATST, and she's just totally kicking ass. I mean, you could tell at that point Gina was loving being in character as Cara Dune. Like, you could just tell. And I remember watching it for the first time, like, knock him out, Gina, get them. And and every time I watch that scene, it takes me back to that moment, because that was probably the first moment that I kind of really, truly fell in love with Cara Dune. And I knew that. I was like, oh my gosh, this character just represents a little bit of my badass inside. Like, I'm very, very mellow as a human being, but Cara Dune, I was just like, yeah, get them, girl.
She's your spirit animal.
Yeah,
she's my spirit animal.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Actually, that's a really good idea. Let me write that down.
Write it down.
Yeah.
And going back to that episode, like that, we already got 3 episodes of Mando, and we're talking about this on our Mando show. But it was like, you got 3 episodes to see how much of a badass he is, but then how quick he throws. Like, she's like, toss me the rifle. How quick he is to trust her and know that she's gonna, do some damage. So, and as highly, we were like, when are we going to see her? When are we going to see her? Then we finally saw her, and it exceeded what we were expecting to see. So,
well, I think when because that was something. It's like, well, you wouldn't just throw your rifle at someone. It's like, thinking back, I have family in the military. When you know someone's background, for example, her rank, what she did before she was essentially a mercenary, there's a certain level of trust that comes from positions of authority. In modern day terms, we tend to trust people that have authority over us. That may be changing now, but just saying, if a police officer or, certain, like a mayor, there's just certain levels of trust. And like, if you're in a battlefield and someone was a soldier before, it's not going to be as crazy to think that you would toss them a rifle because that they know how to use it. I think Mando, when he knew what she was before, he was like, oh, you can kick ass. Like, yeah, I want her on my team.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's interesting, Joey, because a lot of people, especially with Cara Dune as a character, a lot of people are obviously sad that her story has ended. But I think the best, even though Gina obviously doesn't work in that, it is a job, let's face it, it's a job for any actor. But we get to make up our own story in our own mind about how Cara Dune lived within the Star Wars universe. And no matter how hard they try to remove her from content, from literature, the power is within us.
Yeah.
We are the ones that make her live on. Like, Cara Dune is here to stay, regardless if they like it or not, because she inspired so many people. And especially when we did the We Love Cara Dune trend, so many people reached out to me and just said how much Cara Dune meant to them. And nobody can ever take that away. Nobody, ever.
Absolutely. And that kind of goes to perfectly with the next rapid fire question is, what's your favorite thing about Gina? And I'll go with you, Emily.
Okay. My favorite thing about Gina is I'm not going to be able to name just one, but I'm going to say it's probably her integrity, loyalty, and just this sense of hope that she embodies.
Very cool. What about you, Ash? See you thinking.
Wow. I would
top
say,
that one.
I would say I just love her individuality, who she is is at a very core level, who she is as a person. And if I can add a second one, it would be her pets. I do have a soft spot for her pets, which are Moonbee and Ollie G. I mean, I see them on Instagram. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need cuddles with them. But no,
I know. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that picture of her and Bovie, and little Bovie is just like laid up in her arms, and he's just like so comfortable. I'm like, animals are a good judge of character. Like, I trust Bovie's judgment.
I do as well. Yeah,
that's another shirt right now. I'm just kidding. we just throw these out. and last one, Gina Carano bucket list. So, like, if you could do any, like, I don't know, name any, like, hanging out, dinner, be in a movie, have her in a movie. I don't know. It sounded better in my head when I was thinking about it. So.
No, that's a good one. So I love animals. Oh, hey, Alasia. That's one of our team members.
Hey.
I actually, let me say, she is our editor. So she is the one that makes it sound really great and make sure that all of our ellipses are correct. So
nice.
Yeah, no, Alasia has, oh my gosh, like that girl is amazing. So, but anyway, so your question, my bucket list, I love animals. I'm kind of the resident hippie in the group. So if I could do anything, and Gina, if you're listening, like, it would be spending the day on a farm with her. Cause I know that I've seen pictures of her with like horses in the past. So just, yeah, I'd say spending the day on a farm with Gina.
That'd be awesome. How about you, Ash?
What would I do? That's a difficult one. You know, I guess go eat. Go to Chick-fil-A.
I was about to say Chick-fil-A.
We'd go to Chick-fil-A. We'd have 2 strawberry shakes and 2 of the chicken fillet burgers, and we'd have. Do you know what? I'd love to just like I'm really big on like lately. I'm getting a little bit artsy fartsy. So like I like doing things like I don't know. I like doing like arty things. You know, like just going for a walk, walking the dogs, and taking nice pictures. Just something goofy. Like I'm not like a serious person. Like I'm not one of these people which is like, oh, I want to be in a movie. I would be terrible in a movie. I would be so cringy. I have no confidence, and I would just be watching myself the whole time, like, oh my god, is that how I look on camera? So no, I would not want to be in a movie with Gina Carano. As much as
I have no desire.
It's not you, Gina, it's me.
What if she were to throw a frying pan at you?
I mean, if there was a stunt mat on the floor, I'd do it.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's great, guys. Yeah, but once again, I don't want to take any more of your Saturday, but I really want to thank you for coming on. I'm excited about the site, and can you let our listeners know one more time exactly launch day, what's planned for launch day, and where they, if they haven't signed up yet, where to go? Even though I'm gonna put the website down here.
I'll let you take it away, Ash.
So we launch on Thursday, which is the 22nd of April. For launch day, we have numerous things going on. We currently have a giveaway going on across our social media platforms for a Cara Dune Kenner vintage collection. All you need to do is go to our social media channels, which is Gina Carano Net on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Like our posts and follow our page, and simply reply with what you love about Cara Dune, and that will enter you into pretty much a draw, and we will announce that winner on launch day. We also have the launch party coming up, which is a virtual Zoom party. The invitations are going to be going out for that very, very shortly. That is launch day, limited to around 50 people, I think, aren't we? Right?
Depends. We don't have a number just because it depends on Zoom capabilities. I know we can have much more than that, but it's like, how many people can we get in there without getting absolutely crazy?
That's true. And I mean, what we are also doing for the launch, which is important, which we are going to be promoting a little bit more on Saturday, which is the 25th. We are going to be doing a worldwide hashtag trend of We Love Gina Carano. We're going to try and make that go worldwide. So yeah, there's going to be a resource pack coming out for that very shortly, which fans will be able to download and have content, video clips, movies, GIFs, like I did with the Cara Dune trend. So that's going to be going out soon. So for the launch, it's looking pretty ambitious. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of hard work to go, but we cannot wait to see you all on launch day, and we cannot wait to see all those usernames on the forum typing away, people meeting new friends, and we're just super excited. So yeah, thank you so much, Joey, for having us on. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely. And I mentioned to Emily before, and Madison when she was on too, like once you guys are on, and I do this on my podcast too, but once you guys are on, your family always have an open door anytime you want to come back and talk about anything.
Aww.
So, and especially on YouTube, where we're kind of expanding the borders of just Disney and Star Wars, just everything. So
yeah,
no, I was really happy to get you guys, especially so close to launch. So, but
well, thank you for having us on.
We've got a lot of work to do. Yeah,
absolutely.
You so much.
And I want to thank everybody that was commented too, that came in on the live stream. So like I said, this is our first official live stream. Kind of nervous, outside my element, but it was a lot of fun, especially when you have good people to talk to. So
you did a great job, Joey.
Yeah, well, you did. You did a great job. No technical problems either. So
exactly, that's crazy. So for everybody listening and watching, even after the live stream, thank you for checking us out on Disney Universe TV. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. I don't know the YouTube lingo. You got like smash the like or whatever. I don't know. I'm in my 40s, so I don't know all the slang there. But hey, thank you for the awesome comment there. But yeah, share the show, and I'll be sharing this throughout the social medias once we're done live. But You guys check out GinaCarano.net. Get there for on launch day, and also pay attention to the socials because it's a great place to be. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a few days. So
Yeah.
thanks once
See you
again.
guys.